Okay, so in this video, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at how to make something like this. So it's taking the isometric idea, but now how do we do it within something that's circular? So we're going to put on our grid, and we are going to just draw a box to start. All right, so I'm just going to make sure my box fits within my square that's here. Okay, and we're going to go to Effect. Where we're going to go? We're going to go to Stylize and Round Corners. Preview. Now you're just making this number up. Mine's kind of high in here. You can see as I go up, we just want that perfect circle, right? It's about a half an inch on mine, right? We do okay, and we need to go Object, Expand Appearance. Okay, so you can see how it fits real nicely in there. Let's go ahead and drag this down. So I'm just going to duplicate it and drag it down until it fits within another box that's there, and there we go. So this is going to be the base for what I'm going to draw. I'm now going to, let's just take this, I'm going to give it another color so you can see what happens. I'm now going to take a rectangle, and again, I'm looking for the idea of intersect, which is right there. Click and drag and draw until it links back in. All right, again, we're looking for that word intersect that pops up. Which it did. Where did it go? Oh boy. Okay. So you're looking for that word intersect. I think that's probably pretty good. Mine didn't pop up for whatever reason. Let's see why. I think just a little bit further out. There we go. So let's see if that's correct. That looks pretty good. Okay, right, so that's the idea of creating this cylinder. So if we take a look, that's the base for the cylinder, but we're gonna combine these shapes, and I kind of wanna cut this shape, but before I cut it, I'm just gonna drag this off to the side. We'll use it later. So we're gonna grab all of that, go to my Pathfinder, which, let me drag my Pathfinder out because we're gonna be using it, and go ahead and hit divide, and then ungroup. All right, so right now we have these pieces. So I'm going to grab this piece and this piece and then join them back together. So now we have one. And now this is separate, 1, 2. And if you want to use that later, we're going to also bring that out to the side, and we're just going to make sure that this is now one circle as well. All right. I probably could have not selected that, but we can use these to our advantage later on. So now that I have the cylinder, we're going to work on how to create some of these other pieces that are up here, how to create this kind of inner effect. It's really quite an easy effect. I'm going to take this circle, and we're going to do another duplicate of that circle. So now I have two of them. Select both of them, divide, ungroup. Take this bottom one off, take this one, and we're going to give it a dark color. Now I'm just going to sample this dark color that I already have here. So now we have this, which is really great. We are going to, before we do this, I'm going to just do another duplicate over here just to show you something interesting. So now I'm going to grab this, and really I could remove this. I don't necessarily need it because, you know what, I do need it. I take that back. So now we're going to take this and we're going to line this up. And it should line up perfectly with your smart guides. Bring it to the front, and then we're just going to scale it. And there we go. Now I'm going to change the color of this to be, I don't know, let's do yellow. So now you can kind of see what I have here. Right, and it's not centered in there. I don't know why, maybe just I was a little off when I was doing it. So if that is the case, right, let's just back up a little bit. Let's bring this forward. And I'm actually going to change this color to start with so I can see when I'm over top of it and when I'm not. So we're going to drag this. There we go. Now it's going to do it. And then do Option or Alt and Shift, and should scale from the center. And there we go. So now we have our piece that's there. So it looks like it's inside of it, which is really cool looking. So the idea is I'm going to create something like this maybe. I'm going to use the white arrow tool, select all of this that's here, and drag down and hold shift. And what I'll get is one of these little guys that are here, right? Something like this. I'm going to make this smaller, bring it to the front. Right, and there's now something set inside. If I wanted it a little bit taller, right, I could say I don't want to make it as small. So let's do this again. Drag this down, do something like that maybe. Let's make this smaller. Make sure we grab both of them. So now I can take this and put this, something like that, in front. I want to drag it down more to the center. Right, so that's cool. So now if I wanted to create this ring that's here, all it is another one of these, a little bit larger with another one of these little insets that are here. So I'm going to take this guy, oh, wrong two. So take this, and I'm just going to duplicate those out because we're going to use those later. Take this, and duplicate this out. Select all those with the white arrow tool. Grab this, and I'm just going to shrink it down like so, and make it bigger. So it's going to sit on top. But we are going to change its color, right? So it's going to be a little bit different. Let's change this to an orange maybe. All right, and let's change this to maybe a red. There we go. Ooh, that's obnoxious, but we're gonna go with that. And then just the inset is here. Bring that to the front. And there we go. Now I could do all sorts of other things with this, but for right now, that's the base of how to create a cylinder object using this technique that we looked at. So that's one way to do that. And then we'll look at later on, how to create shadows or how to use gradients and stuff like that. But this is the base of how to create a really interesting visual using isometric grids and a cylinder.